Audit Fort Knox now. The gold currency reset that could change everything. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Audit Fort Knox now. The gold currency reset that could change everything. Awake in 3D February 22, 2025. Could missing gold at Fort Knox trigger a global currency overhaul? The future of the dollar hangs in the balance. Could the contents of Fort Knox hold the key to the next global financial upheaval? Speculation is mounting that a long-overdue audit of America's gold reserves could reveal unsettling truths that might trigger a gold currency reset and redefine the global economic landscape. As questions swirl about whether the U.S. gold supply is truly intact, the stakes have never been higher. The outcome could either restore faith in the dollar or ignite a seismic shift that challenges the foundations of the international financial system. The gold standard's legacy and the foundation of trust. The significance of U.S. gold reserves cannot be overstated. Until 1971, the U.S. dollar was directly tied to gold through the Bretton Woods system, with every dollar effectively backed by the nation's physical gold holdings. This foundation made the dollar the linchpin of the global financial system, offering unparalleled stability and global trust. However, the severing of the gold standard in 1971 fundamentally changed the landscape. Since then, the dollar has operated as a fiat currency, backed by the perceived strength of the U.S. economy rather than tangible assets. Despite this shift, gold reserves have remained a powerful symbol of national financial integrity and global confidence. Today, the U.S. claims to hold approximately 8,133 tons of gold, with more than half allegedly secured at Fort Knox. Yet, doubts persist. Persistent rumors suggest that portions of these reserves were possibly sold off, leased, or otherwise diminished without public disclosure. If these suspicions prove true, the financial ramifications would trigger catastrophic consequences, potentially leading to the largest loss of confidence in U.S. financial history. Opening the vaults. A defining moment for global trust. The U.S. Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, has repeatedly assured the public that all gold reserves are intact, citing routine audits that allegedly verify the presence of America's gold stockpile. A report from September 30, 2024, confirmed that these reserves remain accounted for, and senators are reportedly allowed to request inspections. Yet, skepticism lingers. Why is there such a push for a public audit now? Why involve a figure as politically charged as former President Trump? These developments hint at deeper concerns within the political and financial establishment about global confidence in the dollar, and whether those fears might be justified. If a comprehensive audit reveals missing or diminished reserves, the shockwaves would be felt worldwide. An empty or compromised Fort Knox would likely accelerate calls for a gold currency reset, forcing nations to reevaluate their reliance on the U.S. dollar as the world's primary reserve currency. Gold's role in a potential global currency reset. A gold currency reset is not just an economic theory, it's a financial shift that many believe has been slowly building for years. Central banks across the world, particularly in China and Russia, have been amassing gold reserves in preparation for a possible transition away from a dollar-dominated system. If the United States were found lacking in its own gold holdings, the repercussions would trigger a global financial realignment. Nations may seek to establish a new reserve currency backed by gold, or a basket of stable assets. Such a move would dramatically reduce the U.S.'s influence on international financial markets and weaken its geopolitical leverage. A discovery that Fort Knox's vaults are empty, or even partially depleted, would be the spark that ignites this shift. Countries already wary of U.S. monetary policy, particularly the ongoing cycle of money printing and inflation, would likely take drastic measures to protect their economies from a potential dollar collapse. The revaluation of currencies, unlocking hidden wealth or revealing hidden risk. Beyond the potential for a currency reset, an audit would also force the United States to reevaluate the official value of its gold reserves. Currently, U.S. gold is still valued at a mere $42.22 per ounce on the Treasury's balance sheet, a relic of an outdated system. Meanwhile, the market price of gold has surged toward $3,000 per ounce. If the government were to revalue its gold reserves to reflect market realities, the the implications would have enormous consequences. A revaluation would instantly increase the paper value of America's gold holdings, potentially unlocking hundreds of billions of dollars to offset national debt or fund economic recovery efforts. However, this strategy comes with risks. Revaluing gold would send a shock through global markets, causing other countries to follow suit. Such moves would dramatically alter currency exchange rates and destabilize financial markets in the short term. Worse still, if the audit revealed that U.S. gold reserves were lacking. Any attempt at revaluation would likely backfire, accelerating a loss of faith in the dollar and pushing the global economy closer to a full-scale gold currency reset. What if the vaults are empty? A scenario with global consequences. The most unsettling scenario remains the possibility that the Fort Knox vaults are not as full as officials claim. If an audit reveals discrepancies, it would trigger the most significant monetary shift in U.S. history, surpassing even the collapse of Enron or the financial crisis of 2008. Such a revelation would devastate global trust in the dollar, leading foreign governments and investors to dump U.S. Treasury bonds en masse. With foreign entities holding over $9 trillion in U.S. debt, a sudden sell-off would crash bond markets, spike interest rates, and send the U.S. economy into a severe recession. On the global stage, rivals like China and Russia would likely seize the opportunity to promote their own currencies, potentially backed by gold or other assets, as alternatives to the dollar. This shift would mark the beginning of a multipolar financial world, where the U.S. no longer holds the dominant economic position it has enjoyed since World War II. The road ahead: transparency as the last defense. As the world watches with bated breath, the pressure is mounting for full transparency. A comprehensive, independent audit of U.S. gold reserves would either reaffirm global confidence or expose vulnerabilities that would trigger unprecedented financial upheaval. If the U.S. gold reserves are indeed intact, such verification would help stabilize markets, reinforce trust in the dollar, and delay or prevent the onset of a gold currency reset. However, if the audit uncovers discrepancies, the financial system as we know it would be on the brink of a historic transformation. In the end, gold remains more than a commodity. It is the ultimate symbol of trust in the global financial system. And as the world waits for the vaults of Fort Knox to open, one thing is clear. The results would determine not just the future of the US dollar, but the fate of the entire global economy. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com